My dear faithful and loving Aquarians, how are you? Your faithful and loving Oracle Medicine here, ready to predict the week of the January 22nd to the 28th. And what is the message from Spirit for this week? Well, they say earlier on you got the Queen of Pentacles going on. So you got somebody that knows how to build something from the ground up in a very practical way coming up for you in the beginning of the week, my dear Aquarians. There is a call to develop something, to build it from the ground up in a practical way. So if you have any ideas that you've been thinking about building on, any projects that you've been thinking about starting up but you have yet to start them up, it is suggesting that you start to build them up in a practical and grounded way. So what does that mean? Thinking about earthly ways, thinking about grounded ways in order to build on something. Okay, so the Queen of Pentacles, okay, what are practical ways to build on something? What kind of tools do you need in order to help that seed grow? Okay, what kind of sunlight does it need? I just like to use analogies, and I always like to use the flowers. So what kind of sunlight does it need in order to grow? How much spacing does it need? Okay, being very practical, taking very practical and pragmatic measures, taking your time, not rushing. Okay, this is getting the job done and getting the job done right. Being very methodical in your practice, in your growing. Okay, so that's what this is asking for some of you Aquarians. For you other Aquarians out there, you might have somebody like this in your life. Someone who is very traditional. Someone who is very practical and pragmatic. Someone who may like the finer things in life. Someone who likes to dress nicely. Someone who cares a lot about their health. Okay, someone who is very prosperous because they are very smart. Someone who takes their time. They do not rush into things. Earth signs are the more slower of the four elements. Okay, they take very slow steps, okay, as opposed to a fire sign or an air sign, for example. Great example is an air sign. Someone who might move a little bit faster. But what I will say about you air signs, you Aquarians, you air signs, and the earth signs is that both of you are very logical and very methodical. You move at different speeds, but both of you are very intellectual in a lot of ways. So this can actually work for you. If you slow down for 2 seconds, get everything you need to get in check, in line, before you speed the process, before you go anywhere forward, you make sure that you've dotted all your I's. Okay, get everything that you need in place. So be very smart and methodical. Take a step back. This is really checking off everything, making sure that you have everything set in motion prior to you growing that plant that you're trying to grow, if it's a project. Prior to you making sure, checking in with your health. If you're starting a new thing on your health, if you're starting a new thing on your career, if you're starting a new pathway on your prosperity plan, okay, how you eat, how you drink, how you dress. If you're starting a new one, just make sure that you check in yourself and that you're dotting all of your I's. And this is definitely someone in your path, Aquarians, that may be doing that for you, if it's not you yourself. Because towards the middle of the week here, you are going to get the 10 of Wands. Okay, so this means somebody that is passing along responsibilities to everybody else. Okay, this is someone that's put so much energy into starting a project, into getting that project to completion, and now they have all these new responsibilities because they've completed that project, because that project is now up and running and it's fiery and starting up, and now they're like, they're like, I don't want to have to do this. I'm going to have you do it. I'm going to have you do it. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to sit here lazily. I did all this effort. I did all this stuff. And they just about to put the responsibility all on everybody else for what they did. Okay, so if this is you, or if this is someone else close to you in your life, I'm just letting you know, not a good idea. Okay, the 10 of Wands is the 10 of Wands in reverse. That's a bad idea. Do not go trying to put your responsibilities off on everybody else, things that you have put up yourself, that you have worked so hard to achieve, to get to, and then all of a sudden you get to that point where you have a whole bunch of responsibilities now and you can't handle it, so you put in delegating it off on everybody else to do, and you're not taking responsibility for none of it. Oh no, you're not about to pass on all of that heat on somebody else. You made your bed, now you get to sleep in it. That's the whole idea of the Ten of Wands, baby. You made that bed and you get to sleep, and you get to sleep in it now. Now with the Ten of Wands in, if it was in upright, then I would say, yeah, you're taking on a lot of responsibilities and you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. It's okay to have a little bit of assistance and help. This is what happens when we build on and build on and build on sometimes. Sometimes we've now gotten so much responsibility that we need help in delegating that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you just somebody that, I have a house, for example, and I'm going to have somebody else pay the rent for me. I'm going to have somebody clean. I'm going to have somebody else cook. I'm going to have somebody else do all this stuff because I don't want to do it. I don't want to work. I don't want to do anything like that. Okay, I'm just this with this in reverse, with this in reverse is saying, nah, don't you even try to delegate any responsibilities on anybody else. Okay, you buttered your bread. Okay, now you get to eat that. You get to eat it. Okay, you have buttered your bread. Now eat it. Okay, you've made it nice and buttery. Okay, don't try to pass it off to somebody else because you don't want it anymore. Okay, so that's kind of what's going on with the Ten of Wands in the middle of the week. Watch out for that, some of you Aquarians, other Aquarians. If that is you, then you need to be looking yourself in the mirror, because at the end of this week you're going to have the World card. Okay, and the World card is a time where you're going to be able to finally get around and finally travel, and you're going to be able to finally spread your wisdom, spread your knowledge, because you yourself have worked so hard in order to get you where you have gotten now. Okay, and this is just going to be a great time where you're going to be able to spread that wisdom, spread that knowledge, everything, the whole nine, the things that you've learned from your ups and the things that you have learned from your downs. This is going to be a great time for you, my loving Aquarians, to really spread your wisdom, spread your knowledge. But this is only temporary because you are at the end of a cycle here, and you're going to be beginning a fresh new one here pretty soon. So just be very well aware of that. You have reached a plateau, a threshold where you are now able to, where you have now been through so much that you are able now to spread that wisdom. You're able now to reap the benefits of everything that you have worked so hard for. This is going to be a great time of getting out and moving about and moving around and going different places and seeing different people and traveling the world in with however way that looks to you. Okay, it's going to be a great time for that. But remember that it is only temporary, because eventually you're going to have to get back to life and you're going to be on your way to discovering something new. Okay, you're going to be on your way to discovering something all fresh and new. Okay, so you've worked really hard. It's okay to delegate responsibilities. There's nothing wrong with delegating responsibilities. There's nothing wrong with getting some assistance and some help. But there is something wrong, absolutely, when you abandon something that you have worked on. If you are purely, wholeheartedly just trying to abandon it, okay, everything that you worked for, look at this, the Dryad, everything is falling off of her right now. She's abandoning it like it was never there and leaving it for somebody else to pick up. Don't do that. It's one thing to leave somebody in place and make sure that everything is nice and managed while you're gone, but remember that you are still very much a part of this project. You oversaw it, and when you and just because you are on your way to greater and newer heights, ready to restart something again, doesn't mean that you don't still have a responsibility to what you've already created. Okay, if nothing else, what you're getting ready to create, what new things you're getting ready to create in this big and bright future of yours. It is perhaps an expansion. It is perhaps a whole new other level of something that you haven't done before. Perhaps fortified by what you have built on. So remember how important that is, my dear Aquarians. You've built this, you have created this castle, and it is now, you're not about to shift gears now all of a sudden. And the king or queen or whoever you are is not about to all of a sudden abandon ship just like that. You got to be responsible. Love heals fear is the card for this week. Love heals fear. The power of your love can help bullies and angry people to be less afraid. Love heals fear. The power of your love can help bullies and angry people to be less afraid. Let's think about that for 2 seconds. When we have people in our lives that project anger unto us, okay, when we got people in our lives that project their anger onto us, and they'll tell you that the reason why they're projecting it onto you is because they're frustrated with something you doing. They're frustrated with something that they are doing. Okay? It is not your responsibility to fix whatever it is that's going on the inside of that person who is projecting their anger onto you. But as brothers and sisters living in this world, it is our responsibility to each other to pray for each other, to love one another, to heal one another. And maybe you might not be able to fix their problem and their issue that they're going through right now, but you can pray for them. You can pray for their healing. You can pray for their healing. You can send blessings to them. I once had these 2 kids come up to me one day and tell me that they had a bully. That they had a bully that was at school that was always picking on them. And I said, you know what you do? I said, number one, you tell the teacher, you tell the instructor, this is what's going on. You know, every time it comes up, you let the teacher know, you let the instructor, you do the right thing, you let them know, you let them handle it. But number 2, at night before you go to bed, you pray for them. You pray for them. Behind every bully, there is a fear there, right? Behind every bully, behind every person who is projecting anger on to another, they have fear, they have insecurity, they have imbalance, just like we do. Just like we do, just like everybody else does, and just like everybody else has, and maybe even still do, probably still do even now, even in our ascension and growing as spirits here on this earth, on this green Mother Earth. Everybody has got insecurity, fear, pain, loss. Everybody deals with that. Everybody struggles with that, and everybody has a different way into how they express that pain. So think about that the next time you see somebody coming in your life that is being a mental bully or an emotional bully or a spiritual bully or a financial bully. Someone that might be threatening to make you lose your job if you don't do things their way and ... Just remember, these people, they really need healing. They need blessings. They need our blessings. Okay, so don't give them the response that they're looking for. Okay, they're frustrated and they're angry and they're looking for you to be frustrated and angry. You know what? Take a step back, say, I'm cool. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to genuinely pray for you. Because my brother, my sister, I love you. And whatever it is that you are going through in life right now, I hope that that heals for you. I hope that you are able to find your truth. I'm hoping that you are able to ascend to the next level in your life in whatever way makes you happy. No one ever really truly is happy causing somebody else pain. But when that's the only way they know, you know, that's the only way they know how to get any kind of happiness, even if it is a fake happiness. That's the only way they know how to truly get happiness. Okay? Then that's what they're going to do, because that's what they were taught. That's what the world taught them. They taught them the only way for you to become happy is if you knock and beat down somebody else. That is just such a shame. that is what they learned in this world. It's very much a shame. And we can pray for them. Pray that they are able to see a different point of view, that they are able to see a different perspective, that someone is kind enough to them in their world, that so much so in such a profound way, or that spirit is there for them in such a profound way that it allows them to see the error in their ways, and they begin to heal that mindset, that habit that they have grown. Okay? So before you look upon somebody else with judgment, okay, look upon them with understanding. Look upon them with compassion. And say to yourself, and really truly within your heart, pray for them. Love heals fear. The power of your love can help bullies and angry people to be less afraid. The power of your love, Aquarians. Your love. If you're listening to this right now, I am talking to you. The power of your love can help bullies and angry people to be less afraid. That's the message for the week, my loving Aquarians. Go out, make magic, and I will see you next reading. Aho Matake Asen.